As of writing, the Nintendo Switch gave us 3 Mario Sport titles: Mario Tennis Aces, Mario Golf Super Rush and Mario Strikers Battle League. And with the Nintendo Switch 2 coming up, we can assume we get to see new Mario Sports titles as well. Whilst Nintendo likes to bring tennis and golf to the most consoles, there are also other sports that Mario and his cast like to play in their free time. One of those is basketball, and even though this sport has featured in Mario Sports Mix and Mario has featured in NBA Street V3, we can safely say that the only proper full-fledged Mario basketball game is Mario Slam Basketball, or Hoops 3-on-3 I guess if you're from the other side. Mario Slam Basketball, which I will call Slamba for this video, has 16 courses in total to play on, and with quite the variety too, we are bound to see differences in quality, so it's time to look at them and rank them. At the end of the video I will also include a list of courses I want to return to a future game. It's gonna be 5 courses. Of course, there's like zero reason to assume any will return in first place, but we can always hope some will, a la Mario Kart retro courses of course. Number 16 all the way to 13 is a really close pack, and I struggled a lot to make a certain order here, as these 4 courses either all play the same or have a mechanic that I dislike. But after considering beyond pure gameplay like its tourney context, music, vibe, I decided to pick Sunset Beach as the very worst course. This is one of 3 courses with 0 hazards or gimmicks, and since this is an unlockable, meaning you expect more than a basic course, I cannot give it a pass for being an
early stage to make new players comfortable.
Also, the music is reused. Once you unlock this course, it's gonna be placed in a mushroom tourney, but its unlock criteria is obscure and you will most likely need to look up how to unlock it. At which point you were already familiar with the game probably, at least enough so to be able to handle a tougher mechanic than no mechanic. If you want to unlock this court, you need to play Koopa Beach in exhibition mode between 4 and 6 PM local time. If you play on the DS, this can be manipulated of course in the settings of the DS, making it a very easy one to unlock, but if you use an emulator it might be harder to change the time. When you play on Koopa Beach, which we are going to look at later as well, you will notice that there is a ship sailing on the background and shooting bombs on the beach, and it takes place during the afternoon. Sunset Beach is just that, minus the ships with the bombs, so minus the cool part, and plus a setting sun. Same music too, how lazy can you get? Number 15 and 14 are within this section of for the hardest of the hardest, because one of them is the so-called starter course and the other one is a late game one, but it plays like a starter one. If I keep tourney context in mind a little bit more, then we would see places swapped, but I am of the belief that the music of this late game one carries it forward here, but not by much. In spot 15 we have Mario Stadium. This is the course where your game starts. The practicing takes place here. It is technically the only course available to you when you first play the game, in any game mode. So this one does get the benefit over Sunset Beach for being the early game equals easy treatment. The music is relatively simple, the stadium doesn't have a glorious atmosphere, but hey, it's not that horrible either. I don't have much more to say about Mario Stadium, but I certainly wish I could say a lot more about the next one. Number 14, Rainbow Ship. This is most definitely the most disappointing course of the whole game. When you play the tourney mode, every cup has 3 stages, and when you win your 3 games, you get a trophy and some unlockables if you manage to meet those criteria. But for the Rainbow tourney, something else happens. Ninja jumps out of an airship to steal your hard-earned trophy. A vine appears and your team climbs up the vine to battle it out with Ninja, Black Mage and White Mage. This is such a cool twist, and considering there are Final Fantasy characters and they don't appear in any other tourney in any team ever, this is a unique standoff. The difficulty ramps up a little bit too, on both normal and the hard difficulty, but then when you climbed up that vine, you come to realize that the court itself is just a normal one. Was there really no gimmick they could have applied here? Like, sure, facing off Ninja and his crew for the first time is epic, but the court itself has no real value. The one reason why I still put this over Mario Stadium is because of the music and the theming. Holy moly, it's so good. Not the very best one of this game, but absolutely up there. Man, Rainbow Ship could have been so cool. The characters and the lore are there. Remember that I said 3 basic courts and 1 with a gimmick that I dislike are in the bottom 4? Well, it's finally time to talk about the gimmicky one, and it's none other than Special Tourney's Blue Cheap Sea. Well, this course has 3 gimmicks. One is so annoying that it should have landed the course dead last, one is just okay, and the other has the depth of a top course. Let's start with the bad. This course takes place underwater and you will notice it. It plays very slowly, almost like you are playing in slow motion, and even though it is a unique mechanic, it plays so annoyingly. The okay mechanic are the bloopers, which swim around, and if you hit the ball, they will stop the ball. The good mechanic then, which is the equally unique treasure chest item. This is an offensive item that the defensive team can get from panels, and when used, it bounces around and homes towards the ball. If you are skilled enough, it's very easy to dodge, but if you break it in the right way, it drops a bunch of coins, which can also benefit whoever has the ball. As you can see, this has a fair amount of depth, and it made me put this course in 13th instead of 16th. Now that we've had the boring 4, it's time to move on to 2 courses that are just okay. They don't do much, are not creative, but at least have a gimmick that isn't annoying. I'm starting at Mushroom Tourney's Koopa Beach, which takes 12th. Koopa Beach is the course I referred to earlier in this video, as this is where you unlock Sunset Beach. As mentioned before, it is a beach at daytime with a ship in the background shooting bombs, and waves also crash near this beach as you see the water come and go. This doesn't affect the gameplay itself, but worth to mention it still. The bombs, they do affect the gameplay, although not very often. Koopa Beach, although I prefer Sunset Beach with vibes, is the better one here as it has a gimmick and is what I would call the perfect course for a follow-up on Mario Stadium. It's an easy gimmick, but still it is a gimmick and it's not gonna be like another wasted slot. The other bare bones course is the last one we need to talk about in the Mushroom Tourney, namely Peach Field. And holy moly, this course has the best music in the game for absolutely no reason. At least that's how I think of it. Yeah, this really slaps. Other than the music, this course is kind of boring honestly. The 2 gimmicks are the bouncing Cheeps and the moving basket. Yeah, you heard me right, the basket moves. But not really in an exciting way. No, it's just that there's one basket on this court held by the Lakitu, and depending on which team has possession, he will be there for them to score. Sadly, you cannot see him move sides when there is a change in possession. Instead, he just teleports or something. The Cheeps don't do much when you walk into them, but if they happen to be in the line between a thrown basketball and the hoop, the basketball will lose its velocity and come to stop. This course is where you play the finale of the Mushroom Tourneys, and apart from the music being top notch, the course itself could have been a little bit more. The music carries it to 11, but not enough for a top 10 for sure. The 10th course on this ranking is actually really similar to Peach Field. It also has aerial obstacles that can disrupt your shots. It's none other than Luigi Mansion. This course is of course based off the Luigi's Mansion series, and honestly a really clever play because the ghosts are, like in the series, also the main gimmick here. The music is alright, maybe on the boring side for this game as well, but the ghosts are absolute upgrades from the Cheeps. Not only is there a higher chance they intercept the ball, but also they hold the ball, meaning you will have to steal it from them by jumping underneath. Regardless of that, I cannot place this course any higher because the 9 next ones are just much better. Such as number 9, which refers another Mario adjacent series, Donkey Kong Cruiser. This one has one of the sickest settings in this game, as you literally play on a raft that is sailing on a river. The music is cool too, but let's look at the key feature here, the barrels. After a certain amount of time, the barrels on the side of the raft will go loose and will roll across the raft. If you get hit, you lose the ball of course, as the barrel rolls over you. Also, it is a decay course, so bananas also drop on the raft so now and then. Where they are coming from? Don't ask me. I guess it's raining bananas today, guys. I would say that DK Cruiser and Luigi Mansion are really close 9th and 10th places again. in which I prefer DK Cruiser's vibes and creativity, and Luigi Mansion has a better mechanic, slightly, but only because they appear like all the time and the barrels only appear at a later point in the match. We're at the halfway point now, and we are really getting to the meat on the bone right now of this game. Because to be quite frank, if this game just had the quality of the aforementioned 8 courses, I don't think it would have had the same praise, definitely not from me at least. If you like this style of video, then dunk the subscribe button. I upload Nintendo related content monthly, and with the Switch 2 coming, you don't want to miss out on what I will be cooking on this channel. I also do live streams like Mario Kart and Mario Party with viewers on a weekly basis, so there's always something to be notified about. We have a section of 3 sub-top courses right now. These are definitely good enough to make a return in a future game, but are not the ones that will define this game. Starting off, we have Marlborough Garden. This is a play on the course we will see later on, but then overgrown and toxic. The center of this map is not all that special, although I like the moss, I guess, when compared to the later course that we're gonna talk about. But no, the real highlight is the Marlborough, one behind both baskets. If you approach them, they will blow some sort of acid or poison which hurts anyone in its range. Additionally, you also get affected by the slowness effect that the poison mushroom would otherwise give you. Since the Marlborough's reach is a little beyond the dunking zone, you can use this tactically too. As an offensive player, if you are on the counter and you want to dunk, you can trigger it and it will blow up its poison whilst you are already in the air, which gives you that extra bit of time to charge your dunk for extra coins and thus extra points. You can also use it defensively by approaching the Marlborough and then quickly running away so that there is a poisonous cloud lingering in front of the basket, making it impossible for the opponent to dunk for a few seconds. These are definitely small things, but very cool to mess around with if you are decent at the game. Clearly I like this stage and it is miles ahead of the DK Cruiser already. This is also one of those courses that has a unique unlock mechanic, but I'll discuss that when we arrive at that course. A course I consider slightly better is another special unlockable, but this time it also grants you an exclusive opportunity to unlock a character. I'm of course talking about Glare Desert. Glare Desert has one flaw that I have to mention, namely it shares music with Mario Stadium. This is 100% one of the lazier things in this game. I would get why Koopa Beach and Sunset Beach have the same music, because they're literally on the same place, and yeah, I mean, they could make like some sort of sunset variation of that, but still. But come on, this is the beginner area and the desert course. Is Mario Stadium secretly built in Qatar? Okay, jokes aside, Glare Desert has some good stuff. The tornado is the first thing that catches the eye, and to be honest, by far the most important reason why this finishes here and not lower. If you get hit by the tornado, you will be launched into the air and of course lose the ball. Not only that, but if you throw the ball into the tornado, it will also give the ball some more vertical airtime and then it falls back down. The tornado can also be used tactically, of course, because if you're good enough, you can use it as a wall so that enemies have a harder time approaching you. And as a defender, you can charge up a shield and try to push them into the tornado when that opportunity arises. But there is one reason I slightly prefer this course over Marlborough Garden, and that is because you can unlock Cactuar here. At some point you will see a green ball pop up in the sand and stick in one position for a bit, and then it quickly moves in a straight line to another spot. The ball is of course the head of Cactuar, and by dribbling on his head you can free him from the sand. Once you did it, he will pop out of the sand and actually hurt you, really? He then just leaves the screen, and at the end of the match he has a funny bit of movement where he runs around from the left to the right and so on and lurks on the background. What a lovely unlockable. Just said that he is kind of flawed to play with because his ground pounds are very bad. Let's move on to the best of the rest. We have 1 flower tourney course, 3 from the star tourney and 2 from the rainbow tourney. But which one does not hold a candle to the elite? Well, it's the Wario one, Wario Factory. But it's still an incredible course at that. The music fits the theme of the course, namely a lot of loud noises and factory sound effects, and it also fits the chaos that this course can be. But at the same time, this is not one song you will remember outside of that. The course itself is a basic course, but they are bombs. They have pretty much the same effect as the regular bombs you can find in the panels, but these can be picked up and thrown at any time, making this course a mayhem when both teams have the bombs as part of their strategy. Sadly, bots don't really capitalize all that much on the bombs, but if you play with a real person, this is a blast, pun intended. The bombs are especially good for the defensive team obviously, as if you have the ball, you cannot pick them up, making this a course in which ball possession goes here and there. Also, small detail, if you look at the background, this field is constantly rising. One thing is for sure, I love playing here on my DS, but I would never ever play here in real life. And now it's finally time for the top 5, and let's start that with arguably the most unique course out of any of them, Daisy Garden. The music and the theming are good, not special, but solid. This course is from the Flower Tourney as that one's finale, and by the way, this is where you unlock Marlborough Garden, which we talked about earlier. To explain how to unlock it, it makes more sense to look at the gimmick first, which are the baskets. Or can you even call them baskets, because it's 2 PD piranhas. And the PD piranhas are not just glorified baskets, they bite. If you want to score, you better make sure to have some decent shooting skills, because dunking is only possible under 2 circumstances. The first circumstance that allows dunking is when you have star power. You are invisible after all, and PD Piranha will just collaborate with ya. The second circumstance is possibly the more likely one, namely when he is asleep. PD is a living creature after all and needs to rest as well. When he is awake, he will move his open mouth, but when he is about to fall asleep, you can see he becomes slower with his movement. And then when he has his mouth entirely open, he is resting. You have like 5 seconds to use such an opportunity to dunk, because then he will be active again and not let you in. If you dunk 3 times on this court, a blue seed awaits you in a panel. Just dribble and collect some coins through the panel and you will get the blue seed, which will make you unlock Marlborough Garden. All of this makes for a very iconic stage, even if the center is really bland. This is exactly the creative you want to see in a Mario-based basketball game, and it is without a doubt a top 5 court. But if you would put it first, I can also see why you would put it first. The number 4 is Bowser Castle, and wow, this is certainly a Bowser Castle. The theming is unique within this game, but in the broader Mario sense, not so much of course. It's more like the mandatory reference to the iconic Bowser Castle in mainline Mario. The music is an epic rendition of SMB Bowser Castle, and the same game is also officially referenced through the axes that hold the hoop. This course is not extremely gimmicky, but the 3 added hazards definitely ramp up the difficulty. Firstly, we have the lava bubbles, which appear from these circles, and if it hits a player, whether controlled or not, it goes in panic mode and drops the ball. In panic mode, which lasts for a few seconds, you cannot grab the ball. You have minimal control over your movement, and the only thing you can do is jump and try to hit opponents who do hold the ball. That of course makes this course chaotic, but there is more. Sometimes a Thwomp will say when you thought you could collect some coins, and you want to avoid him obviously. And the final hazard is the Final Fantasy Bomb, which is this unsettling mad creature that roams around the court and upon contact blows itself up, and everyone in its radius will be set on fire and go panic, panic. This course, although not creatively unique, has so many fun references, and its main strength is that it is hard. So much goes on, especially when the bomb spawned, that keeping possession without opponents is already tricky, let alone with opponents. The top 3, however, consist of a gambling court, a court that has arguably the best exclusive item and movement as well, and a court that is arguably the hardest one. At 3, I put Sherbetland. This opener of the Rainbow Tourney is without a doubt the best first course of any cup right here. This is of course an ice level, and rather than playing with snow like a lot of Mario levels, it completely plays into the ice theme. It feels like you are ice skating and playing basketball at the same time. Surely that would work in real life too, right? Yeah, sorry, I'm not even gonna try that. But the 2 things that this course do incredibly well are the exclusive item, the Freezy, and the sliding. Let's start with the freezy, which is a defensive item. When used, it will quickly move around the stage in a straight line, and if it hits a player, it gets frozen for a few seconds. This is incredibly useful, as with good snipe, you can take over possession and have an overload if you are quick with the ball. The sliding is possibly even cooler, as if you are moving and stroke on the touchscreen, you will slide in that direction. This is a very risky thing to do because it can take some time to stand up again, but if the opponent is loose, it's this ability that allows you to get the ball back either way. Other than these mechanics, this court is not much special, of course, like there's nothing like an obstacle anywhere, but these two gimmicks can absolutely carry this court to the bronze medal in my opinion. The music steps too, by the way. So here we are, which one is the winner and which one is second? Our contestants today are second court of the Star Tourney and third court of the Special Tourney, Junior Street and Pirate Ship. The winner is Junior Street. Let's quickly cover Pirate Ship first though, since this is also an incredible court. The setting here is nothing short of intimidating, as you play basketball on a sailing pirate ship on a rainy day as well. The music is probably the most forgettable of the whole game, but at least it suits the ship and the weather. The crazy part of this ship is that its cannons are inverted. I don't know whose idea it was to place cannons the wrong way. Maybe this is how the captain likes to punish his crew instead of using the old-fashioned keel hauling, I don't know. The cannonball's movement depends on how the ship is tilted, as this ship moves from left to right slightly. The cannonballs explode upon contact. And like Wario Factory's bombs and the regular bomb items, you will definitely see them blow up regularly, as the uncontrolled teammates and CPUs also trigger them. Gooper Blooper is also making an appearance in this game. Man, they really love to reference Mario Sunshine in this game, right? Gooper Blooper lurks around the ship, and when you walk over the netting of the corners, you risk getting hit by Gooper Blooper's tentacles. This of course makes you lose the ball if you have it, and otherwise it just stuns you. All of this makes for a very skill demanding stage, perfect for a finale one would say. You need to have a good arsenal of tricks and quick decision making to avoid all the cannonballs, Gooper Blooper and of course the opponents. This course is arguably the one in which relying on coins is a bad idea, as you will likely lose them so now and then. The stage that is completely the opposite however and is nominated as my number one is Junior Street. I think I'm not alone if I say that this is the most iconic course of this game. The court itself does not feature any hazards at all, but it's all about
let's go gambling!
Below and behind the hoops you can see a slot machine with some Mario icons. If you decide to collect nothing and just head straight for the basket, the slot machine won't work, but when you collect coins through panels, so now and then the panels will turn purple, and when you collect a coin on a purple panel, you in fact get a purple coin. If you have at least one purple coin, it will unlock one level of the slot machine, and the next time you score, the slot machine will be put into action and the purple coin counter will go back to 0. If you collected one purple coin, only the middle row will matter. If you collected 2, all 3 rows will matter, and if you collected 3 or more purple coins, the diagonals will also count, and that pretty much guarantees you that you will get some sort of outcome. And now it's time to gamble. You can get 10 bonus points if you get a line of 3 green shells, 20 bonus points for the mushrooms, 30 bonus points for the fire flowers, but the crazy ones are the stars, Marios and Bowser Jr.'s. Respectively, it doubles, triples and nullify your score. It actually says minus 1000 points by the way for the juniors, but in practice it will never take away any of the points you already earned before your shot. In theory, this means that if you have 100 coins on you and score with a special shot, which gives you 40 points instead of the 20 normally, you won't just get 140 points, but a stunning 420 points. However, the con is, if you decide to do this and unlock the whole slot machine, you also have a chance to get 3 juniors, and there goes all the time and effort. With that in mind, you can imagine that you can get a crazy high score on this court, and that makes it also one of the fun things about this court. In fact, when recording footage for this video, I happened to get a score of 1252 points, which also happens to be my personal record score ever. And one thing to add to the class and importance of this course is that you unlock Glare Desert here. Simply score 800 or more points in one match here in a tourney mode. Final thing I really need to mention here is the music. It is an absolute masterpiece in my opinion, and playlist worthy if gaming music is your vibe. For a little bonus, if I were to pick 5 courses to have to return to the next game, I would pick Junior Street, Daisy Garden, Marlborough Garden, Wario Factory and Peachfield. You may question why I don't just pick my top 5. Well, I think that Bowser Castle could get a new rendition. Pirate Ship is cool within this game, but I'd like to see a different final course that tries even more, and same for Sherbetland. A different ice snow themed course could be cool. Daisy Garden and Junior Street are more unique however, and unless they want to play with these mechanics but with different theme, they just have to come back. Marlborough Garden and Wario Factory can capture that Final Fantasy reference and unique theming respectively. Peachfield is the best basic type of court and definitely has the best music of this game in my opinion, so I would love to hear this song remixed in a new game. So how would you rank these 16 courses? Did I insult you by picking Sunset Beach in last place? Let me know in the comments and thanks for watching. Mario Basketball on Switch or Switch 2, I'm waiting for you.